Alright, all you video gamers, welcome to yet another 8-bit handheld Tiger battery-operated edition of the DJ Smokey's True Video Game Stories. And with a title like that, we decided to go with yet another handheld game from Tiger Electronics, none other than Tiger Electronics Ninja Fighter. And this game probably was one of the most ridiculous end bosses I've ever had to fight in handheld form. And with that lead in perfectly set up and the maestro already laughing about it, I think it's time for us to go ahead, get some AA batteries, and prepare to play the day away as we try to fight some ninjas and flaming skeletons too, as we get ready to paint the picture. Alright, this video game story took place well over 23 years ago. Wow, I feel old. Where me and my sister and my brother would all get separate forms of 8-bit handheld games for Christmas. For my brother, he would end up getting a basketball or a football game in 8-bit handheld form. My sister, on the other hand, would end up getting some weird version of Sonic the Hedgehog, which would usually make a whole bunch of noises that would distract me from the game that my uncle gave me, which was probably one of the most unique games of them all, which would be this game in the form of Ninja Fighter. And when I picked up the game, I immediately thought to myself, what is this? Because the only other time I would be able to play a ninja-like game would be for the Sega Genesis in the form of Shinobi, and I thought this would be in the same way, but boy, oh boy, was I wrong. Because at every moment as I would try to make my way through this ninja palace, I would end up running into a whole bunch of different ninjas that would attack me not only from the skies, but from even underneath the floorboards, and in the form of flaming skeletons that would try to attack me head on. So anytime I felt like I was safe making my way through this place, I wasn't safe at a moment's notice, and it was almost like I was playing Simon on how many times I had to look up, down, left, right, diagonal, or even around me for when these things would pop out from out of nowhere. So once I was finally able to get past these certain parts, and after my sister got frustrated on the 87th time she would end up losing in Sonic the Hedgehog, she would look over my shoulder and see how far I would actually get in this game, to the point where I would make it all the way to the final level for this game. And I said, whoa, after fighting flaming skeletons, ninjas, and everything else, what could possibly be the end boss? A giant oversized shogun? A ridiculous sized ninja that I would have to fight in hand-to-hand combat? No, instead I would have to fight a ridiculous chandelier. And when the second I saw this thing, I laughed my head off. I said, ha, that's all they got? Out of all the ninjas I had to fight a ridiculous chandelier that was this giant round thing that shot laser beams in different directions. I said, that's it? And little did I know, I would be in for the worst hell I would ever experience in handheld form for the next 3 months. Because every single time I tried to take on this chandelier, which seemed like a simple version of a Roomba if you looked at it from a distance, it shot lasers at me everywhere I would go. I would try to aim up at it and hit it, it would teleport down, shoot a laser at me. Then teleport to the front, shoot a laser, then diagonal, laser, every direction you could possibly imagine, it would shoot a laser at me to make sure I didn't make it out of that level alive, and after at least 4 shots, its mission was accomplished, because I would die right there, and my sister would say, oh, now you gotta do it all over again. And I said, get away from me! And after I went through that whole level on at least 12 separate occasions over the next couple of months, every single time this ninja makeshift chandelier from hell would give me the worst amount of hell, like we mentioned before, for several months on end, until I would figure out a strategy that I would have to aim up, aim down, save some of the ninja pellets that I would get during the levels that I used on the skeletons to try to defeat this thing. And one fateful day, while my sister was looking over my shoulder after she successfully beat Sonic the Hedgehog for that 8-bit game after giving Robotnik the business, she would look over my shoulder and finally see me come up with a successful pattern to take out this chandelier by using the ninja bombs, the ninja stars, and even a makeshift tiger sweep to take out that thing once and for all after it lurked underneath the floorboards and just blew up and made some ridiculous noise after it died. Now, granted, that wasn't the exact proper noise that it made after it died, but nevertheless, the only thing I remembered was me screaming, "Yes! Finally! Finally, I was able to beat this game!" And after I did that and threw the game up in the air, I didn't realize that the back of the game was exposed. And yeah, let's just say when I threw the game in the air, it hit the ceiling, came back down with the batteries out of it, hitting me in the head, and my proof of beating this said boss would go up in smoke right after that. And my sister would sit there laughing, my grandma would be angry that I knocked the ceiling tile a little bit to the left because of it, and most importantly, my one great accomplishment in 8-bit form would go away for at least another 4 more months, because I would beat it again, but this time I would have definite proof that I was able to accomplish that mission. And with that said, folks, wraps it up for another 8-bit handheld Tiger battery-operated edition of the DJ Smokey's True Video Game Stories. And with that, we'll be back with more right after this. So stay tuned.